I wasn't even going to talk about this. I didn't want to. It's not a subject that I like. When I see it being discussed, I avoid it as much as I can. But I think it's unavoidable at this point. Sometimes Allah brings us through things so that we may not find the support that we need in those times, but we could be support for somebody else. So I'm just saying now, for the promotional videos that are going around, in imploring women to find, more than one wife for their husband, this is not your job. Your job is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and work on the relationship that you have with your husband. You are not marrying anybody else. Your husband is marrying somebody else. And it's an issue of control, isn't it? A little bit like you want to choose who it is. What are you going to choose? Somebody who's like so much older than you so that you are the favorite, or something weird and petty like that? SubhanAllah. If the husband wants to have another wife, then he can find another wife just like he found you. And it's not on you to find the wife. In situations, for those of us who have actually lived through polygyny, I was in polygyny for over 20 years, you get in a situation where you're looking at your life and you're saying, okay, my husband does not want to be with me all the time. He wants to be in the company of somebody else. And the marriage breaks a little. And I'm going to be honest with you about this, that the marriage breaks. The marriage doesn't break to the point of talaq, but there is something in the heart of the first wife, and I'm saying this from experience, and I'm not making this up, and I'm not trying to bash polygyny. I'm just saying your relationship is going to forever change with your husband when he takes another wife. And his desire, his issues, if he has issues with desire and you're trying to help him out with that might help, but it might not. It might add to his issue. If he's got issues there, that might add to his issue. And you might be in a never-ending loop of women being divorced and new women being married, and women being divorced and new women being married, and never really getting settled into having like one or two or three co-wives, because they're always changing, because the man has issues with his desire. So it's not our responsibility as women to source these women for our husbands. There may be a situation where you know that a woman is in need and you know that your husband is a good man and whatever. I'm not talking about sincere situations like that. But these things are very few and far between. You cannot make blanket statements and say that every woman needs to find every husband wives, because some of us, we don't want our husband to marry because we know that he's not a good man and he's not going to be able to handle it, and everybody's lives are going to be made miserable. We could also just not be used to this whole thing, and we know that we're going to be too lonely and it's going to kind of ruin the point of being married to us. And the other thing is that maybe we just don't like our husband and we want to get a divorce anyway, and this is just going to say, okay, you know what? If this is what you want to do, we're already having problems, I'm just going to get out of the marriage. So you never know what will happen, and it's not always going to be good.